All right, Mr. Bowser, you want to start? You can.
Thank you. The meeting will now come to order. Diana, would you read the sunshine laws, please?
Certainly. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Law, notice of this meeting stating the time and place was satisfied by the filing of an annual notice with the local source and the Star Ledger, newspapers of general circulation within the Township of Union, on the bulletin board of the Township of Union Municipal Building, and noticed on the Township of Union website.
Thank you, Diana. Good evening and welcome to the Township of Union's virtual planning board meeting of March 24th, 2022. Have a roll call, please.
Ms. Frazier?
Here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Lee?
Here.
Mr. Lewis? Ms. Perkins?
Here.
Reverend Starling?
Here.
Mayor Figurito?
Here.
Citywoman Dellisfort?
Here.
Ricketts?
Here.
Mr. Miller? Mr. Bowser?
Here. We have a quorum and the meeting is open. Would we swear in the engineer, please?
You raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony that you are about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes from April 24th, 2022.
I believe you mean February.
February.
February 24th, 2022, yes.
Very good.
Can I have a motion to approve?
Need a second?
Can I have a roll call? vote?
I'm sorry, I needed a second. Did
Okay,
someone
get a
second?
second.
Yes, I'll second that.
Thank you.
Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Sure. Ms. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Perkins?
Yes,
Reverend Starling?
Abstain, not present.
Mayor Figurito?
Yes.
Citywoman Dellisfort?
Yes.
Ricketts?
Abstain, not present.
Mr. Miller? I'm not there. Mr. Bowser?
Yes. Moving right along, we have no resolutions this evening, just 2 items under new business. We have the application for Chick-fil-A. Will the representative for Chick-fil-A please come forward?
Yes, Chairman Bowser, Stephen Hale representing Chick-fil-A, and I did hear Mr. Hatter's explanation at the at your conference session. And yes, we sent in a letter, I believe it was last week, requesting that the matter be carried without date. We didn't want to burden frankly, Diana and the board with carrying it month to month. They are still working on the site and dealing with negotiations with the landlord with respect to the 7-Eleven portion and the which is now vacant, and the portion that was Pita Shack. We hope shortly to have those issues resolved and submit revised plans to the board and Harbor Consultants so they can do their review. And as Mr. Hatter indicated, we will certainly, at that point, when we submit the revised plans and they're reviewed and deemed complete, we would then request a hearing date from the board, and we are committed to re-notify at that time. We just didn't want to, again, burden Diana with carrying it on a monthly basis. So it is. And Diana, did you get did you get the escrow check? They were going to
Not yet. Not
Okay.
yet.
We'll follow up. They were going to get that over to you immediately.
Okay.
So that's our request, Mr. Chairman. Again, we apologize that it's taken some time. They are anxious to get this moving because, again, the second drive-through will certainly help the efficiency of the site. And there's other safety steps that are being taken, including additional do not block the box and circulation. But we've worked through the efforts of spearheaded by Don Travisano and the township in general to make it a better project. So it's good.
Thank you, Mr. Hale. If there's no more further commentary on that, can I have a motion to carry without date this application?
So moved.
Can Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Ms. Starling,
Yes.
Mayor Figurino,
Yes.
Woman Dellisfort,
Yes.
Ms. Ricketts,
Yes.
Chairman Bowser.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we will try to expedite that submission.
Thank you, Mr. Hale. Next on the agenda is application 2022-03, Hollywood Memorial Park and Cemetery. The representative for that application come forward.
Yes, Chairman Bowser, you're stuck with me again. And let me just briefly touch on, I did hear Mr. Hatterer's explanation to the board that you were not prepared to proceed this evening. I will note that, and as he indicated, there's a time period. This application was submitted January 10th, was deemed complete by Colliers in a letter to the board on January 27th. So under the municipal land use law, and I'm sure your able counsel will explain, the board has 120 days to hear the case. And if not acting within that time, it's deemed approved. I will say just a couple of minor items. This is in the cemetery zone. It's a permitted use in the zone. The only variance associated with this application is a setback from Route 78, the sound wall. There's no other variances associated. We meet all the requirements of the cemetery zone. I know that we did receive some comments that some neighbors were concerned. The closest neighbor to the proposed new mausoleums is over 250 feet. We meet all those requirements. In fact, where the mausoleum is proposed, there's a roadway, then a whole nother section of the cemetery, and then the residence is there. We indicated since the matter was adjourned at the last hearing, a willingness to meet with the neighbors. We'll meet with them on site if they have any comments or concerns. Again, this is not it's a mausoleum similar to the several that are there. It's not a place that where they're going to have, there is another building on site where they're going to have which already acts as where when people come to the cemetery to have a service and a lot. But this is just a couple of mausoleum buildings. They're actually further away from 78 than the existing mausoleums. So again, we have a willingness to meet with, and I know there may be some residents on it, if they want to contact our office and we can arrange a meeting at the site. But again, it's permitted use and that's the only variance associated with it. We've reviewed the letter from Mr. Hatterer and Mr. Venezia. We have no problem complying with any of those conditions. And again, as far as screening and the like, I think we indicated at the last hearing, if the residents wanted us to put some additional, again, it's a very far distance away from the people's homes, but we're certainly willing to put some additional landscaping on between the proposed, where the new mausoleums will be, and then some landscaping. And again, there's the roadway and then a whole area of the cemetery where graves are. So that's, we can't force the board to hear us this evening, but I just want to remind the board that the outside date to be heard or to be adjudicated is that May 27th, 2022 date. So that's my little pitch, and glad to receive any feedback. And again, our willingness, people have my phone number, willingness to contact me. Our team is on the meeting. Mario Catigno, who's been active in Hollywood Cemetery for years, has again expressed certainly a willingness to meet with the neighbors. There may be perhaps a misconception as to where this is located in the cemetery yard, but it's right next to where those other mausoleums are, close to 78. So I appreciate your time and consideration, and these short meetings are nice too.
Mr. Hale, this is Jean Perkins.
Yeah.
Just as a matter of information and interest, this is strictly conversational remarks that I have heard. The concern was, as the greater concern was lighting on and at that mausoleum that might spill over. It was not the building itself that spilled, it was the lighting. But I'm sure you know that. No
Yeah,
need to debate it. I just wanted to bring it forward.
Yeah, no problem. I don't think there's any lighting associated with this building.
And that's why there may have been misconceptions.
Yeah, there's some lighting that exists there that exists, but this again is just a mausoleum where people are entombed. It's not a gathering place or anything. It's similar to those ones that again are already there next to 78.
So Mr. Hale, you indicated that your client was willing to meet with the neighbors to discuss and work through the issues. Have any meeting dates and times been established to go through that process?
No, we're waiting to hear back. So again, I'm here. My number 908-687-7000. They can call me and we'll Mario and our team will be out there.
Okay. So with that being said, any further questions for Mr. Hale from the board? If not, I'm going to ask for that we carry this particular application to a date, be named later, contingent upon, I guess, contacting you, Mr. Hale, and talking through whether or not we resolve these issues so that we can come back and have a board.
Yeah, I guess my only request would be, because we've already noticed that it be carried, if you, we're not adjourning it, but if it could be carried to next month's meeting, and if you can't be resolved by then, the following meeting, then we don't have to re-notify everybody again because we're not changing anything in the application.
Mr. Chairman, just an FYI, I remind you guys will be in person next time, so I don't know how that affects your notice.
Yeah. Well, they're notified now. Look, if need be, there's not a problem. But I think anyone from the public is here to hear now that it'll be in person. It'd be nice to see everybody in person anyway.
Exactly. Okay, with that being said, can I have a motion to carry this application to the April 28th meeting, 2022? I have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I respectfully move application 2022-03 be carried to the April meeting.
Can I get a second?
Second.
That's without notice. Without notice, is that correct?
Yes, without notice, that's what we're
Without
saying.
notice. Yep. Can I have a roll call vote?
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes.
Mr. Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis, I think I saw you come in.
Yes.
Ms. Perkins,
Yes.
Irvin Starling,
Yes.
Mark Figurito,
Yes.
Committeewoman Dellisfort,
Yes.
Ms. Ricketts,
Yes.
Chairman Bowser.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you all again. Appreciate your time this evening, and again, look forward to seeing everyone in person.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Hale.
Have a great night. Thank you.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, we have no further business on the agenda for this evening other than just the fact that we had provided correspondence to the governing board pertaining just comments from the board, thanking them regarding their presentation. I just wanted to add that I felt as though Mr. Chavazano and Mr. Potter and Mr. Batsina did a superb job in preparing their presentation to the board. And I also like to thank Mr. Hatterer for preparing the report for the board, highlighting that presentation. So again, I just want to thank Phil and also thank the governing body, the Township Committee, for their support in terms of this project as well. I'm looking forward, as well as I guess the other board members, to really utilizing that facility, particularly the theater that we have in the lower level. So we're looking forward to that. With that being said, I just wanted to say thank you again, Phil, for preparing that report for the board. If there's no additional comments or additions, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Cool.